Alright, 3, 2, 1. Hello everybody, Caden here today with an episode of WildLife Park, and today we are back on the world to add in lions to the zoo because, well, we need to finish up the savannah area and get the last few creatures we haven't yet added in. So I think after this exhibit, all we'll have left are the leopards and the elephants, and I think that'll pretty much close out the savannah area, as far as I remember at least. I may have one or two animals left here, and I just forgot. Who knows? That's actually pretty prone to happen with me. But anyway, this exhibit is probably another one of my favorites that we've built. Purely because it's kind of a fun mixture, at least for me, of old and new. It's a mixture of old exhibits, new ideas, and a variety of real-world zoo enclosures that I took inspiration from to try and come up with something interesting that I thought would look cool for the build. Now, I did manage to avoid the problem we had last episode, which was just going completely over the top and creating something a bit impractical for a singular episode that's meant to fit within a 10 to 20 minute mark. Now, I mean, I'm very happy I managed to avoid that there, because that was quite the problem last episode. But as you can see here, I've decided I wanted to make this exhibit a bit of a combo exhibit. So we were going to have a bit of a viewing area that's raised up above the ground, along with a variety of fences with no direct viewing from the pathway. So a bit like our gorilla exhibit, but but removing the roof. Mostly because I didn't feel like the roof was necessary and kind of impeded my designs for the overhang, which you can see me working on there. So I decided an overhang was a good idea. My reasoning for this is lions can jump quite high and are quite large and carnivorous, and not something you really want around your children. So I decided to do something I used to do in one of the original WildLife Park series, and I used to do all the time with my raptor exhibits, and that is add an overhang with some sort of chain railing along the top to keep the animals from jumping over, and I think this looks fantastic. It was originally just going to be on the viewing area, but then I decided I liked the look of it and the idea of it so much, I was going to throw it on all the fences, which you can see me doing here. Now, it did get a bit tricky at some points, just trying to figure out exactly how it should work, but overall, I think it looks fantastic. I think it came out really well, and I'm very happy with the overall product. I think this exhibit's really, really good, guys. I'm very happy with it, and I think it's it's a very good exhibit to start tying off the savannah area with. But yeah, so we're just going to work on that for a second. I'm going to quickly mention something I know I've already mentioned in the end of the episode, but I'll mention it here as well. We did have a live stream on, well, if you're watching this today, it's gone up. Yesterday we had a short live stream of WildLife Park where we just worked on the world trying to get the park finished up. And again, if you're watching this the day it goes live, tomorrow afternoon, I believe, we will be doing another WildLife Park live stream where we'll again be working on trying to get the park finished in time for the end of the year with, I believe, episode 51 being the final episode of the zoo, which is pretty crazy. It's crazy to me that we've made this many episodes and thrown this many animals in, and that for once in a WildLife Park series, we've actually finished the zoo, or hopefully we'll finish the zoo. Anyway, you can see me adding in the fences here, and just finishing them up. I think they look really good. Very high security kind of looking fences, something I would expect to have in like Planet Zoo or Zoo Tycoon 2, or I guess the original Zoo Tycoon as well. And I like that. I don't know, this exhibit had a very nostalgic feel to me for some reason. I mean, I'm guessing it's partly because it reminds me of those old games, as well as reminding me of old builds I've done. And I always like taking a bit of wisdom from the past in a way when it comes to building these builds. I like looking back at stuff I've done before, because even though the stuff I've done before may not be the best quality anymore, I mean, obviously I've gotten a lot better at building. Also, quick note, I didn't realize this, but an anteater and a capybara had spawned in. Actually, I think there were several anteaters. I don't know how they spawned in. I've disabled the ability for mobs to spawn, but there were a couple of anteaters in here, as well as a couple of capybaras. I don't know, it was kind of weird. Anyway, what I was saying was, yeah, I like drawing inspiration from old builds. They may not be the best quality, but they usually have an idea I either haven't thought of in a while, or an old idea that looked good back then, but could be vastly improved now that I'm better at building. And this, I think, was one of those examples of just an old build that got so much better when brought up to my current building standards. And I'm just really happy with that. I did decide to do the full terrain editing thing we've been doing for some of the other ones. So the concrete powder, the sandy coarse dirt, and the regular coarse dirt. It took a little bit, but I think it turned out really well. Yeah, this exhibit was it wasn't the most, I guess, in-depth or interesting when it came to the overall terrain features. It was kind of just meant to be a simple terrain job. Again, the main focus was the lions and the exhibit itself, and less the lacking terrain features. I'm sure we'll probably come back to this in a live stream and fix it up a bit more, maybe add in some more trees or plants or something else. We'll see what happens. Anyway, I don't really think much more interesting stuff, or there's much more for me to talk about. We just placed in some grass, make a little Pride Rock tree thing, and build a granite wall, I believe, and I believe that's it. So I'm gonna let the rest of the time lapse play out, and I will meet you guys back up with the exhibit tour. All right, everyone, here we are with the final exhibit, and I have to say, I'm very happy with this overall. So when I started working on this, I wasn't exactly sure how it was gonna go, exactly what my plan was, but I think this is by far a lot better than I thought it was going to turn out, and a lot better than most of the original ideas I had. So I'm sure I mentioned this probably in the time lapse, but my inspiration for this exhibit is kind of a weird mix, in all honesty. So it's taken from, I think, 3 or 4 different zoos, which all had vastly different lion enclosure designs, as well as taking slightly from a previous zoo of mine that I'd built, where we had, I mean, this is that's more where the, I guess the fence was lifted from, a previous wildlife park we'd done. The viewing area, but I mean, also inspired by other zoos. The viewing area is inspired by a couple of zoos. The interior of the enclosure is inspired by a couple of zoos. There was something really cool I wanted to do, but I didn't end up finding a way to integrate that. And I believe it was actually for a tiger exhibit. I don't remember the zoo it's in, but there's like a tiger walkway. So it's like there'd be like a path through the middle here, and there's 2 lion exhibits on each side, and then you have a bridge going over the pathway the lions can go over, and I thought that was really cool. Since I didn't end up being able to do that, though, I decided to just put another log in like we had in the gorilla exhibit, and I think this looks cool. Kind of like a Pride Rock kind of thing without me having to build Pride Rock. But yeah, I really love this. The overhang is by far one of my favorite parts of this fence design. I think this is one of my favorite fences we've made for the zoo. Right up there with that one. I really like that fence for some reason, but this one as well is just really nice. I just love it. I think it looks really cool. Having the overhang, and that was probably the most challenging part of getting it to look right, but I don't know. I think we did a good job, everyone. I think it looks really good, and I think the most important thing is it looks secure. So the lions aren't going to be able to get up to the visitors. But yeah, that's the exhibit. Oh, one quick thing I want to show off because, well, I think this is somewhat important. It's kind of a detour from the episode, But yesterday, so the day before this episode went up, we did a wildlife park live stream, and we'll probably be doing one this weekend as well. So if you're watching this on the Friday it goes up, tomorrow we should be doing a live stream around noon to 3 p.m. East Coast time. And yeah, so if you want to join in, we'll be doing a lot of stuff like this, but as you can see, where we've kind of gone back through areas and decorated them to make them look a lot nicer. We've really just worked on the tropical area in the last stream. We'll probably work a bit on it next stream as well, and maybe some stuff over there. So if you want to join in, it's a lot of fun, and yeah, we'll probably stream for like 2 to 3 hours. So yeah, good time to hang out with me and talk about the zoo. Anyway, I hope you all enjoy, hope you all like the exhibit, and until next time, guys, see ya.